And Tim mentioned that we're geographically dispersed. We're a company which has wind farms all around the country, and we're expanding to Canada as well. So we have different teams that kind of come together to perform tasks. However, we do realize that our revenue stream, our core business, is operations. Site operations right here are exactly where we know where our problems exist, where we make money from. And all the other departments are essentially supporting groups for site operations. And so communication is necessary to start getting collaboration and communication done between these and eventually find a solution. And that's where Appian's interface really comes in the picture, is using Tempo. Using Tempo, using social feeds to collaborate on issues, using the case dashboard, going in there, putting in notes. Everybody goes in there and gives their own input, and then we eventually reach a solution. And so that's what Cobra really helped us bring everything together and get different levels of expertise together in one area. And these are some screenshots that you'll see of our typical, just sample screenshots of our Tempo posts. And you'll see there are different kinds of posts that we have on our Tempo feed that we generally post on there. And could be like a simple question that you're asking, like, hey, I have this problem. Have you guys seen this before? Can you please help me out? And obviously the comments and everything, and people can collaborate on that. Secondly, we also try to post reports. So we have the performance analysis team specifically will send out like daily or weekly or monthly reports. And we felt that Tempo could actually handle external data sources. So when we send out reports, we not only send it out through email, we also put it on Tempo. We want to make Tempo the one-stop shop for everybody to come to for updates at the end of the day. And maybe like at the end of the day, you want to see what exactly when happened in the department. You have the Tempo feed to go through in order as to how the issues have been resolved today, how much of work was actually done today. And one other thing you'll actually notice here is email integration up here. And we try to take it a little bit further here. So a typical email scenario, or a typical implementation of a case management system would be sending out emails. You want to notify people when updates have been made, a solution has been figured out, a review has been posted. We send out emails to the people involved in the case and tell them, hey, there's something new put on the case. Please go ahead and check it. So these are email alerts sent out from Appian. This is pretty general stuff. However, we wanted to take it a step further. Tempo and mobile is great. We know people will go in there and collaborate on. However, we also do realize that email is still a pretty big functionality of corporate culture. We will still end up talking about cases in an email. And we want to be able to track that, because a lot of our emails that we send maybe to external parties who don't have access to Appian will not be able to go into Tempo and collaborate on our case and help us out with it, maybe our manufacturers. We still want to track those emails. We want to see how those emails come together with our cases. And so to do that, we enabled our processes, our cases, to be able to receive emails. So now we have an email address assigned to Cobra, like, for example, cobra@edpr.com. So when, for example, Tim and I are talking about a specific case, all I have to do is CC cobra@edpr.com and reference a case number at the bottom, saying that I'm talking about this case. And what our case management system does is constantly listen for emails on that email address. And so as soon as it receives that email, it strips off the latest reply and posts it as a note on Tempo and in the case dashboard. So we have an audit trail of all the emails and all the communication that's done on the case outside of the system, as well as all the communication done within the system, to see how we eventually reach a resolution to that problem. So I think it works out great in terms of collaboration in that sense, where we have everything all in one place. And that's great. And that's kind of a new feature that we're implementing. However, in the past, that's been done purely by nature of notes. And so we had about 281 notes that we have in our system, and we're just a little less than a year since we've implemented the system, so we're not that far into it. However, notes have been primarily used to just add updates to the process to say what we're actually doing. But with email now, we can integrate all of them together. Mobile. We talk about Tempo, we have to talk about mobile. It just makes sense, right? We have a Tempo feed on our browser, we want a Tempo feed on our mobile devices. And although we don't have the system implemented right now, we are working towards it, because I think it makes a lot of business sense for EDPR. We have wind farms across the country, and so it would make a lot of sense for our people out in the wind farms to be able to make use of mobile. Especially because a lot of times what happens is that when we conduct inspections on site, the people they go up to the turbines, climb the turbine up tower, and do the inspections, click photos, etc. But then they have to come back to the desks in their offices and then retap that information and go over their work again. So it's redundancy. We want to get rid of that. And I think that's where mobile can really help us. We want to be want them to be able to actually open cases, update cases while they're there, so that they have their information ready, click upload, done deal. It's in the case dashboard, it's updated. And that's where mobile can help us. And so we're getting there, but we don't have it yet. And I think that would really, really help us. And with Appian 7, I guess we've all seen the new features. It's going to be great.